Hello everybody. Happy Saturday. Hope everyone is doing well. Whoa, there we go. Hi, game music. Hi, y'all. Welcome on in. Hope everyone's having a pretty good week. Mine's been rough. I mean, to be fair, the last several weeks have technically been rough, but this week definitely rougher than the previous ones. But I'm committed to seeing this game through to the end, so I still wanted to try to squeeze in at least a little bit of time. So we may not go as long today, but we'll do what we can. We certainly will. We'll certainly try to maybe at least get 2 parts in. And then we'll see how we feel. Oh! My hair's back to its comfortable red state. So, got my hair redone last week. That's why we didn't stream last week. And also why I really wanted to make sure that we get in a little bit of time, at least a little bit of time this week. So, shall we? Shall we go see on how Edgeworth is doing? We are on case 4! There's a mysterious hidden floor here, which has all kinds of odd evidence goodies from the first game, the first Ace Attorney Investigations game, which is weird. All cases that Edgeworth worked in, there's definitely some level of corruption happening in the Department of Justice in this universe. Not that it wasn't weird to begin with, but somehow more corruption. So we're trying to put a stop to that and make sure that Kay, Edgeworth's equivalent of Maya, does not get thrown in the slammer. She has amnesia because what is anime without an amnesia plot point? So she has amnesia and she's like, I must be a criminal, and it's just like, no girl, come on, chill. And then of course, because like she has amnesia, doesn't know what she's saying, doesn't know what she's talking about, the corrupt prosecution is hanging on to every little thread that they can, being like, she must be guilty because she clearly says that she's a criminal. It's like, she has fucking amnesia. She doesn't know what she's talking about. That's not a mentally sound confession. You should... Anyway, so that's where we're at. Anime game be animating, so here we are. All right, let us continue. Judge Gavel's goal. I think we were working on something. Okay. I think we're talking to the... Oh, right! They threw us in the slammer. I forgot. We're arrested! Hi, we got arrested. I totally forgot. So we're in prison. Sure. April 6th, Detention Center 6? Detention Center holding cell. Never thought I'd spend another night in here again. They stripped me of all the evidence we'd so painstakingly gathered. Even if they did let me keep Kei's Yatagarasu pin, can't help but worry about her. Better be treating her well. The murderer, it was me. I remember looking down and the person in the red raincoat was on the ground. It was me, Mr. Edgeworth. It was me all along. That doesn't mean anything. Just because you fucking saw the body and saw the person collapse doesn't mean you killed them. Do you remember doing the act? Do you remember stabbing them? It's all very circumstantial and it drives me crazy. I'm the murderer. I'm the murderer. I'm sure it drives Edgeworth more insane. Come on, let's go. You've got a visitor. Visitor? Who? Someone by the name of Dick Gumshoe. Want me to send him away? No, Gummy is our homie, our friend, our buddy, our compadre. No, though I'm not sure what to even say to him. Hi, Chirico. I should fix the cat cam. I keep forgetting to do that. Sorry. I'm depriving you all of valuable cat. Where even is the cat cam right now? I don't actually know where it is. Huh. I was like, maybe I can just like manually hand point it at him, but I don't know where it is. Oh well. April 6th, Detention Center Visitors Room. Right there. You're leaving me unsupervised? Forgive the intrusion. Ah! You're not Gumshoe! You bitch! Judge Cavell. Please, Mr. Edgeworth. Take a seat. What are you doing here? I was told it was Detective Gumshoe. I imagined you wouldn't come if you knew it was me. You're damn right I wouldn't have. What could she possibly want from me now? Suppose it'd be better to find out. I don't have my badge, but I can show her K's because I show badges to everybody. Miss Faraday is currently being interrogated about her involvement in the murder. You and the committee know what you're doing, don't you? You know that the wrongful arrest and persecution of an innocent person is beyond reprehensible. That's quite the slanderous remark. I would ask that you frame your outburst with a little more care. Besides, she is not innocent. You merely wish that she is. You don't have conclusive evidence. I hate her so much. Can't say that. You don't have conclusive proof. Same wavelength. Awesome. Nor do you have conclusive proof to the contrary. So let's not retread this tired old topic again. I hate that in this universe, you're guilty until proven innocent. It's so stupid. She will go to trial, and the goddess will pass her judgment. There is nothing you can do to stop that. And there's nothing more to say on the subject. Instead, let us speak of the matter at hand. Are you so eager to strip me of my fucking badge? Needy Meow? Momo's a needy Meow? Yes, yes he is. Oh, by the way, sorry, good time. I totally forgot to mention this last time when you resubbed because I was very in the zone. I changed around the mods to make more sense because when I initially assigned mods, it was just to like whoever was there because of we were doing GTA a little bit at the time. So since you actually try to use the mod function sometimes and you've complained about it, congratulations, you're a mod. Have fun with that. Anyway, let's talk about the visit. You may not be aware of this, but you are only permitted to meet with the specially approved visitors. So I'm to be treated like a dangerous criminal, am I? Suppose my reputation has rather plummeted. It has indeed. For you, of course, and your friends. That attorney and the other girl were raising quite the fuss earlier. Bender and Emma. I saw them launch some extremely heated words to one of the guards. No, you didn't. You may thank the goddess in that regard, for even she is too busy to deal with each and every infraction. They will not be punished for their bad behavior. Did you come here just to chit-chat with me? You must have a lot of time on your hands. Oh, speaking of which, Miss Von Karma is continuing the investigation where you left off. I just thought you would like to know. I figured you would be worried about how they were all doing. I hate to admit it, but she read me like a book. What the fuck is your motive for being here? What do you want? Let's cut to the chase, Your Honor. Why are you really here? I'm here simply to talk, nothing more. There's something I wish to know about you. Me? Yes, who else? Objectively speaking, you are highly intelligent and quick-witted. And a born prosecutor at that. Please, Judge Cavell, your sarcastic praise is but assault on my wounds. But I sincerely mean every word, Mr. Edgeworth, and it is why I fail to understand you. Take this latest case, for example. You were up against the very committee itself, who had no hope of succeeding. Even a child could have seen that, and yet... I don't imagine the old me would have ever been so reckless. The old me had power. But because of that, I thought that justice was always on my side. Just as you and the committee believe now. A certain person changed my mind. Made me reckon with myself and with my selfish and skewed sense of justice. And once the scales had fallen from my eyes, I began to look at people differently. I saw that I was only able to be an effective prosecutor thanks to the efforts of those around me. Detective Gumshoe, the many investigative officers of the force, even Kay. It changed me. The degree to which it changed me still surprises me to this day. I see. Thank you. I feel that perhaps I understand you a little better now. You understand me? I highly doubt it. Someone who is so focused on forcing their idea of justice onto others can't possibly see what I see. Is that so? Is that what you truly believe? That's certainly how you've been acting. I will say one thing. This has been a very interesting conversation. That is all. Before I go, there is one remaining matter. I was asked to inform you that the date of your hearing has been confirmed. It will be held today, in the trial chamber. The committee sends its warmest regards. If that was all you had to tell me, you could have just sent a message. And entrust the goddess's words to another. That wouldn't do now, would it? Excuse me. Till then, Mr. Edgeworth, I'll see you again very shortly. April 6th, Detention Center. Holding cell. Well, time to look around. There's a menu here on the table. It seems that detainees are able to pay to have their meals brought to their cells. It looks good. Spaghetti and mac and cheese lunch, and then add linguine for only $1. A Samti and brown rice special, for a limited time only add regular white rice at no extra cost. It's probably for the best that I'm not very hungry. That all sounds kinda jank. There's a note on the wall next to the toilet. Sorry, we're currently out of toilet paper. Wow. Please make the necessary mental preparations before using the toilet. What sort of mental preparations can one even make? The window is barred with heavy steel. It reminds me of a movie I once saw. A prison inmate hatched a plot to escape by using a file to cut his cell bars. I won't be doing that, of course. For one thing, I don't have a file on me at the moment. What am I saying? I wouldn't do it even if I did have one. Very basic bed. I can't say it was very comfortable to sleep on, however. I imagine Detective Gumshoe would sleep soundly on it, nevertheless, loudly snoring all the while. Suppose we'll probably never get to work together again. I don't have any regrets about the bed that I've made. I will follow my own path to the end. What is this? Why is it on the floor? Is that a ball and chain? Okay. Barely spent any time in here and already I can feel my personal appearance slipping. I may have given up my badge, but I mustn't give up on myself. My collar, it's slightly creased. There, a tidy outside begets a tidy inside. Which is why it's more important now than ever to take care of myself. Attica! There's a poster in the corridor outside. We regret to announce that due to the warden's arrest, the Die of Destiny game will be discontinued. I'm sorry, what? Inmates will no longer need to roll a die every morning to determine their meals for the day. Oh! We wholeheartedly apologize to those who are looking forward to their daily casting of the die. Did anyone really need an apology for the cessation of such a ridiculous idea in the first place? I have another visitor. Kay. Oh, thank goodness you seem alright. It's a load off of my mind. Ah, such a heartwarming scene. It's enough to make a grown man cry. But you're still not your usual cheery... I mean, you have to stay positive, Kay. You didn't do anything wrong. In fact, I guarantee you didn't. No, you have to let it go. I'm the murderer. I know that now. But you're not. You can't be. Why don't you have any faith in yourself? How can I, Mr. Edgeworth, when there's no me left to believe in? None at all. I don't think that's true. Before you lost your memory, we spent quite a bit of time together. And I dare say you left quite the impression on me. So you see, there's still plenty of you left. That's why I believe so much in your innocence. And why you should believe in yourself, too. Thank you. But I can't. It would just cause more pain for the both of us. Please, you have to forget her. Forget that, Kay. She's gone. Kay, no. You remind me of my younger self, you know. So noble, so bold. This is the justice you and the committee stand for. Justice? I suppose you could call it that. What is he up to? Why is he going to such lengths to control everything? Can't shake the feeling that something is very wrong here. Is there some hidden agenda at play? There's no time to second-guess myself. I'm gonna find out what it is. It's now or never. Well then, my boy, I suppose I should be... Wait. Why is the chairman so intent on seeing Kay charged with this murder? Doesn't make any sense. Must be some rhyme or reason to this madness. Now, Miles, I'm a busy, important man. I can't be wasting my precious time talking to you. The only way out of our current predicament is through Chairman Winner. Right. He's the dad of the idiot. So much to ask and so little time. Let's start by trying to find out why he rushed to have Kay arrested so quickly. Can't just let this happen. I'm getting answers if it's the last thing I do. Mind chess. Why the... Oops, Kay's innocent. That's not the one I wanted. No, that's just clumsy. Why anyone can blurt a baseless... Anyone could blurt out a baseless assertion like that, even a disgraced superstar prosecutor. I didn't mean to click that one. I was trying to figure out the controls and my finger slipped. Yeah. It's no good. I don't have enough information to take this any further. My chance will come. I'll just have to be ready when it does. Yep. Why the rush? Why were you so keen to push through Kay's arrest? I've yet to hear a satisfactory explanation. An explanation? I'm not entirely sure what you mean. Don't give me that. You know exactly what I mean. Tut. I advise you to moderate your tone, dear boy. Need I remind you of your position? I'm a prisoner. Got you now. You're backed into a corner and you don't even know it. What are you going on about all by your lonesome over there? You need to cut an old man like me some slack. Can't keep up with all. Curses. I should have picked my words more carefully. I mean, I don't know what we're going for right now. I was just curious. I forgot we should be paying attention. I'm gonna bide my time. And suppose we did let your friend go free. What then, What do you mean, what then? Think how that would look, my boy, and who would have to take the blame? Me, that's who. Why? So what? No, okay. I didn't like either of the answers, but I didn't know if I should keep biting. Why the rush to arrest her? What do you mean, what then? How would it look? He'd have to take the blame? I guess we bide when he's fidgeting with that. You're right to keep your mouth shut. That way you won't say anything foolish. Sorry, but I can't stay silent forever. Not all Kay's innocence is still in doubt. Ah, you're breaking my heart. Just look at this flood of tears spilling out. Please, just leave it alone, will you? Things were coming along nicely until you interfered. Coming along nicely? Coming along nicely? That's a pretty strange way of putting it. It's almost as if you wanted Kay's arrest to happen. It certainly doesn't sound like the statement of an impartial representative of the law. You think so? Well, that wasn't my intention. Has it occurred to you that you might just be overthinking things a little? Chairman Winner certainly knows how to dodge a question, but it doesn't change the fact that serious doubts remain concerning Kay's arrest. Next, we'll need to press him on whether he really believes the investigation was sufficient. Can't allow any of his statements to go unexamined, no matter how trivial they may seem. One of them may just give us the breakthrough we need. How much time did you spend investigating? How much time was spent on your investigation altogether? Well, now, let's see. You know what? I'm not sure I can remember. I'm sure you can. You won't bluster your way out of this one. It's not bluster, my boy. I honestly don't recall. It's a problem when you get to my age, you see. Why, I even forgot my own son's name sometimes. Never mind your fool of a son. What's his name? Eustace? Answer me. How long did you spend on the investigation? You're all right, of course. The boy's a fool. I never meant for him to grow up like that, but... Oh, woe is me. He's only too happy to derail the conversation no matter where I take it. I have to force him to take this seriously. Let's try another tack for now. You're the one calling the shots, weren't you? You could hardly say your investigation was sufficient. And you're the one who called all the shots, weren't you? Including the decision to have Kay arrested. I'm afraid I'm nowhere near as influential as you think, dear boy. The chairman of the committee doesn't get much more influential than that. Not that I care about such things. You wound me. It's enough to drive an old man to tears. You'll have to forgive me. I'm not the deferential type. Well, if you're going to insist on being so blunt. I'm afraid you won't be seeing your prosecutor's badge again anytime soon. I don't need that badge anyway. Let me make something clear once and for all. That badge isn't the be-all, end-all for me. Far from it. Not concerned with titles or roles. Even you must understand that much. So young. So very young. A word of advice, Miles, from somebody who's been around the block. You're hopelessly naive, my boy. Idiotically so. And that certainly got under his skin. Might be less guarded in his answers while he's in this state. Now's my chance. Much time was spent on your investigation altogether. Really don't give up, do you? But even my patience has its limits, you know. But a coincidence, so does mine. Now answer the question, do you believe that your investigation was sufficient or not? Ah, the youth these days are wont to be reckless. Makes me want to put you in your place. You're going to regret that, my boy. I'd like to see you try. Got you now, you're back in the corner, you don't even know it. What are you going on? Oh, yeah, okay. Nope. Hey, Ashmore, thanks for the watch streak. Good to see you again. Gonna pick your words more carefully. Look. Alright, how much time did you spend investigating? We'll try that again. We'll try the other one. No, I'm putting you in your place. No, okay, it was a bide your time thing. Okay, so I guess that's still him playing with the match. I guess that motion still counts as him playing with the match. Or burning evidence. Well, well, maybe you do know your place after all. What's the matter? Scared? Hardly. I was just thinking about how best to proceed. Getting answers from the elderly requires sensitivity. They can get quite emotional after all. You have no common sense whatsoever, do you? Don't you understand? Your fate rests in my hands. Nice 2-star. Think my fate matters to me now? I don't remember trusting my fate. You think? Yeah. Nope, that's not it. Dang, hard to read this one. Alright. So we know it's Bide. Okay. I guess we'll look out for body language again. Do I just wait because he's still got this match? Let's say you do manage to get some answers from me. There's nothing you can do with them, so why not give it up, dear boy? No. And why not? It's simple. Because I'm not about to let the truth escape me. Interesting. I think I'm beginning to see what makes you tick. But what you're doing is pointless. Tragically. And miserably pointless. Please just give up. She's guilty. The decision has been made. He's so weird. The decision has been made? Once again, your choice of words intrigues me. It's almost as if Kay's guilt had already been determined from before her arrest. What are you trying to imply? That you're super shady. Hey, Vagrancy. Oh shit, nice 5-star. Congrats. What are you trying to imply? That you plan to have her arrested. And that's how you make an entrance, yes. Not implying that things haven't gone as they normally should. Or sorry, I'm implying that things haven't gone as they normally should. In fact, everything has proceeded as if Kay's arrest was the end goal right from the very start. Well, Chairman Winner, was it? That's certainly an intriguing theory. But it's also a complete work of fiction, and I'm afraid I don't have time for such flights of fancy. I think it's time we brought this shabby little farce to an end, don't you? Now he's trying to make his escape. We must confirm the legality of Kay's arrest before he slips away. It's faint, but the truth is finally beginning to emerge. Let's save. And I'm not about to let this opportunity pass me by. I still have questions! Wait, we're not done yet. I'm tired of all this talking, so make it brief, will you? What grounds did you have? Based on everything I've heard from you so far, it's clear that Kay's arrest is entirely unfounded. Yes, I think we're all familiar with this particular refrain of yours by now. But I'm afraid it doesn't matter either way. You don't have what it takes to secure her release anyhow. How dare you take this so lightly as a man of the law? My, aren't you a rude little boy? But my fuse is only so long. Honestly speaking, I don't have the time to waste on every last question you can dream up. I have certain responsibilities to attend to, you know. I really am quite the busy man. Or are you just pretending to be busy? That's an awful thing to say to a fragile old man. I work harder than I should at my age. I ask you, my boy, what could I ever hope to accomplish by putting up such a pretense? Trying to make me feel sorry. You want to avoid talking about the case. You obviously don't want to talk about the case anymore. That's why you're so keen to get out of this conversation, isn't it? It's just so tragic. It really is. That you would suspect me of such things. It's not a suspicion, it's a certainty. There are no clear grounds on which to base Kay's arrest for a start. Oh, now, my boy, let's not get carried away. There was plenty of evidence to support our case. Mask, the letter, the corsage, these were all in her possession. And of course, her confession. More than enough to prove her guilt, I'd say. Again, it was not in a sense of mental in a state of mental stability because she has amnesia. She doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about. She's seeing fragments of information and flipping out about it. But those are... What's the matter? Struggling to come up with a way to explain everything away? Well, there we have it. Your silence speaks volumes. It's true I can't counter your argument right now, but you did let something valuable slip. A suspiciously detailed knowledge of the evidence against Kay. He rattled off that list like he knew it inside out. I think that might prove to be a valuable clue. Alright, let's try this. Kay's innocent. No, 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 my boy, that's just clumsy. Anyone can blurt out a baseless assertion like that. Nope, okay, we're not ready for that yet. Still have questions. Alright. Who gave the order? Who gave the order? Who decided that Kay should be arrested? You know, I can't seem to remember. Don't ever get old, Miles, my boy. It wreaks havoc on the memory. Time to deploy my clue. You remembered all the evidence pretty well. I'd appreciate it if you'd stop playing the old man card. You remembered the details of the evidence against Kay pretty clearly. Perhaps if your memory didn't fail you only when it was convenient, I'd be more inclined to believe you. So let me ask you again, who gave the order for Kay's arrest? Oh, a sharp one, I'll give you that. My son could learn a thing or two from you. I've been saying that the entire time! He wasn't such an incurable numbskull, that is. It's a tragedy, really. I don't want to hear about your son. I want to know who authorized the arrest. You're very mean. You know that, don't you? The arrest, you say? I believe the order was given by... you, right? Wasn't it you? Come now, Chairman Winner. We both know it was you. All right, you got me. You make it sound like it was somehow a bad thing, though. I have a reputation to uphold, so I guess I'd better clear up this little misunderstanding. I'll entertain your questions for a few more minutes. Let's see if I can't put your mind at ease. The key thing to do now is to establish how intimately he knows the details of the case. I just have to ask the right questions. The endgame is at hand. We're but a few moves away from the truth, and we're gonna save again, just in case. Alright. Seem to know an awful lot about the case. Seem to know the case in quite some detail. I know about lots of things, my boy. I'm just smart like that. Too bad the same can't be said about the way you handled Kay's arrest. Bide. I'm a very busy man. Do try to remember that I can bring this little chat to an end whenever I so choose. It's only taking so long because you won't give me a straight answer to any of my questions. If only you'd stop giving me the runaround, we'd be done already. So let's try this again. You seem to know the details of the case quite intimately. Why is that? Because I read the case file. Not exactly the most thrilling use of my time, of course, but it's part of the job. I have to be a good role model. I can't be seen to be slacking. It can be so hard. But I had some time on my hands, so I read the whole thing from cover to cover. But you keep saying how busy you are. It's strange. I could have sworn you just told me you're a very busy man. say the cracks are finally starting to show, wouldn't you? If you're so keen on being an upstanding leader, you can start by releasing Kay, you know. You really don't give up, do you? It's a moving sight indeed, my boy. But a tragic one, too. After all, your efforts are for naught. I'm afraid your little friend was found unconscious near the scene of the crime. Did you see exactly where she was found? I've yet to hear much about the circumstances under which Kay was found. She was lying unconscious in the storeroom, correct? That's right, although I'm not at liberty to tell you how I know that. He knows things even we didn't. In fact, he seems to be aware of every tiny detail about this case. This could be a very valuable clue. Tell me what you know about Kay. Suspect Kay Faraday. How much do you know about her exactly? I know that she's the suspect. Aside from that, not much else. Cross my heart, but it's true. Time to deploy my clue. You know every other detail about the case. Sorry, but the more you tell me, the less sense your story makes. For one thing, you know details that even those investigating the scene were not aware of. Why is that? Just how much do you really know, Chairman Winner? Oh, there's that intimidating face you like to make again. Well, two can play this game. How do you like me now, Bide. I do have to commend you on your doggedness. It really is something. I'll take that as a compliment. Take it however you like, but wrap this up, will you? I just don't have the stamina anymore. She's the culprit, the only possible suspect. Just accept that already. How much more evidence do you want us to load her down with, for goodness sake? Load her down with? Load her down with? Yet another interesting turn of phrase. One that makes it sound a lot like the items Kay was carrying might have been foisted upon her. Impressive. You really do pay attention, don't you? It's no wonder they used to call you a prodigy, Mr. Ex-Prosecutor. I think you know the answer to your own question by now. Why don't you just go ahead and say it? I want to hear it from you. It's finally time to shed light on the truth. All that's left is to play one last move. She's innocent! No, not yet. Okay. Except I know it wasn't her. Kay was framed. The true culprit set it all up so that she would take the fall instead. It was probably you! That is my answer, and I won't let you deny it any longer. My, you really are a sharp one. It's a bit of a shame you chose to hand in your badge. I admit it, you're right on all accounts. That's checkmate. You knew Kay wasn't the real murderer, and yet you still had her arrested. What's worse, you thought you could get away with it. Well, you won't, not if I can help it. There you go with that naivete again, my boy. I guess that was always your problem. With the girl arrested and a conviction secured, this whole mess goes away, and that's what will happen. But whose interest does a conclusion like that serve? The committee's, I suppose, and mine. You know, listening to you just now, well, it really got the tears flowing, I have to say. It was poignant and heartfelt and sincere, and utterly infuriating. Look, I'm not perfect, I know that, but your lack of sophistication in these matters is beyond the pale. You insist that the truth is more important than anything else. But would you say the same if you knew what the real value of the truth is? What are you trying to say? When you get to my level, you don't uncover the truth. You make it, little by little. Kay Faraday, murderer. That's the truth. The truth I created. Yes, my boy, that's what I like to see. You're so sincere, sometimes it's painful. It just makes me want to put you in your place. Knowing the real truth will get you nowhere. Because that's how much it's worth. Nothing. Shocking, I know. But why not go after the real killer? How much do you even know about what really happened? You're still not getting it. That's your truth. And it is worthless. Mine is all that matters. You understand what I'm saying, don't you, Mr. Ex-Prosecutor? I have all the power here. Curse you. Well, aren't you menacing? You and your little friend are just as bad as each other. Violent criminals who deserve to be locked up. You'll pay for this. And with that, yet another person disappears from my life. Oh, it just makes me want to cry and cry. Cry. Man, fuck that guy. He sucks. Not planning to disappear just yet, Chairman Winner. There's still the hearing later today. Just you wait. One way or another, I'll prove Kay's innocence to the world, then. Who's missing? Why is there somebody missing from the committee? Oh, wait, hold on. The dead person. Never mind. Gotcha. Right, one of them's dead. Just pour myself some tea. Alright, April 6th, 8:30 a.m. Committee for Prosecutorial Excellence Chamber. 10 members, over a majority, are present. I hereby call this hearing to order. We are gathered here today to assess the professional competency of Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth. Here in the sight of the goddess, we do solemnly swear to pass fair and frank judgment. Fair and frank? Don't make me laugh. Verity, if you would be so kind as to summarize the case against Mr. Edgeworth. On April 5th, despite having been advised of the illegality of an investigation he was conducting, the accused refused to desist and eventually had to be detained by myself and Chairman Winner. His actions compromised the investigation into the murder of a certain defense attorney. And despite having been presented with copious evidence of her guilt, he continues to insist that the suspect, one Kay Faraday, is innocent of all charges. Perhaps you could explain the details of the murder to us as well? Of course. On the morning of the 5th, the body of the victim was found here in the committee chamber. Further explanation will be provided by... Me, Eustace Winner, Premier Prosecutor! The floor is yours, Mr. Winner. The murder itself... Oh, sorry, hold on. The murder itself happened late on the night of the 4th. The victim was Miss Rosie Ringer. He is a fucking goober. That same night, an illicit auction was being held here in this very room. You guys don't have a problem with the fact that there was an illicit auction happening here? Like, that's not an issue for you guys? Like, maybe you should stop that? Ringer took part in that auction, I think. Yeah. Meaning that the murder took place sometime during the auction. When she was found, Ringer was dressed in an outfit that matched the description on the auctioneers. However, due to the fact that the auction carried on after the murder had occurred, I deduced that Ringer was not in fact the auctioneer. Deduced nothing of the sort. And what about the basis on which the suspect was detained, Mr. Winner? Yeah, I got this. So Faraday was overcome by... crushing remorse, Eustace? Yeah, that. Tons of crushing remorse, so she confessed. According to her confession, she was on the roof of this building when she encountered a person in a red raincoat on the viewing platform. And that person was Miss Ringer, I take it. Precisely, Mr. Chairman. The killer dressed the victim in the auctioneer's outfit after the fact. But at the time when she was killed, Miss Ringer was wearing a red raincoat. And who won the race to find that raincoat nearby? Me! That's who! Did you? Did you, though? Thought it was somebody from forensics. Strictly speaking, it was found by one of the forensic investigators under Mr. Winter's command. I knew it. The blood analysis on the coat showed that it was indeed Miss Ringer who had worn it. And the suspect's confession was the final nail in the coffin. She confirmed having committed the murder. So as you can see, Carrie Faraday was the killer. There's no way anybody else could have done it. That's so fucking flimsy. Alright, Miles, I expect you have some objections. Let's get them out of the way, shall we? No objections, Chairman Winter. Well, now, is that so? I thought it would have taken more than a single night in detention to— No objections in the matter of my unauthorized investigation, that is. But in the matter of Miss Faraday's supposed guilt, I have plenty. I can personally attest to the fact that Mr. Winter's investigation was fair and impartial. Of course it was! When it comes to carefully conducted ops, I'm the winner every time! You know, Miles, it's within my power to offer you a plea deal of sorts. If, and this is purely hypothetical of course, you were to withdraw your objections, you might wake up tomorrow to find yourself the proud owner of a seat on this committee. Whoa, bribery? Excuse me? How is anybody else on the committee okay with that? So I ask you again, do you have any objections, Mr. Edgeworth? You think you can buy my silence, think again. You will watch your mouth. Only if the chairman watches his. I didn't come here to talk about the committee seats. I came here to talk about the murder case. I demand a statement and a oath. I won't rest until I have one. I want to know exactly what the committee's view on the incident is. You want to put us on trial, my boy? Very well, if it will make you happy. Verity, please provide Mr. Edgeworth with the materials pertaining to the case. Really? But sir... This'll be his last hurrah, so let's humor him with the send-off he deserves. If you say so, Mr. Chairman. Yay, we got the evidence back! Alright. Okay, we know what all this is so far. You have no objections to Verity representing the committee, I assume? None whatsoever. Mr. Hedgeworth! Don't worry, Kay. Everything will be fine. You'll see. The committee's view of the case. Miss Ringer attended the auction as a potential buyer. The red raincoat was one of the items up for sale. So, our assumption is that after winning and paying for it, she left the auction with her purchase. The only exit from the storeroom was, of course, the hatch leading up onto the roof. After she had emerged onto the viewing platform, that's when Miss Ringer was attacked by Miss Faraday. Shortly thereafter, her flame went out, and thus concludes the committee's view of the case. The raincoat was on offer that night? Is that really true? I believe so, yes. You remember the failed assassination attempt on the president of Zhang Fa, I assume? The raincoat is a piece of evidence from that case. It should, of course, have remained safely under lock and key in the appropriate facility. But our inquiries revealed that it did in fact go missing under mysterious circumstances. How are you guys, like, not more up in arms about that issue? Like, the fact that you have evidence just disappearing and being sold to the highest bidder? It wound up in the auction along with everything else. That makes sense, I suppose. Wonderful work, Verity. Just wonderful. Still clear as ever.
You flatter me, sir. Now, Mr. Edgeworth, perhaps you could save us all some time and simply admit defeat.
No such thing. Thank you very much.
Very well. It's good to know that you still have some fight in you.
It is. Why? Come to think of it, she said some strange things when she visited me this morning, too. What exactly is she up to? Is she starting to, like, realize that, like, the committee she works for is corrupt as shit? And she's like, help. Is this a plea? Is this a cry for help? Alright, press everything.
Hold it.
In other words, a member of the committee was actively involved in the illegal evidence trade.
It is unfortunate. I don't know what else to say.
And of course, we'll be looking into any such activities just as soon as this hearing is over and done with.
Commend your decision to pursue the matter further, Mr. Chairman.
I mean, it's what they should have been doing immediately once they found out that was happening. Oh, don't be silly, Verity. It's the least we can do, really. Not that it's any of your business, Miles. Not anymore. I mean, I feel like as a citizen, even, it should be everybody's business if they're letting something like that happen. If only you had remained a prosecutor. But you didn't. Now, we're quite done making an old man cry over this whole sad affair.
Very well. Allow me to continue.
Red raincoat was one of the items up for sale. So the raincoat really was one of the auction lots?
That's correct. I believe it originally belonged to Mr. Shelley the Killer.
It did, yes. Considering its status as a piece of evidence, it's the only logical conclusion. It's from when he made his attempt on the president's life. There's an unexplained mannequin standing amongst the other items on sale. Could very well have been used to display the coat prior to the auction. We know how the items were being smuggled in.
That is still under investigation, and is entirely unrelated to the matter at hand. Especially considering that you will soon officially be a prosecutor no longer, Mr. Edgeworth.
Sounds like the outcome of this hearing is a foregone conclusion. No surprises there. My personal circumstances aren't important right now. Please continue, Your Honor.
As I was saying, the raincoat was on one of the items up for sale.
So they think that she purchased it. Why did she leave so soon after making her purchase?
Because of the auction house rules. Winning bidders are expected to pay for their items immediately.
His heart told us pretty much the same thing. How do they know so much about the rules of the auction? If it was illegal and supposedly not done with their knowledge.
Miss Ringer, having paid for the raincoat, probably left immediately afterwards in accordance with the rules.
The only exit was the hatch.
Hold it.
Miss Ringer was a member of the committee. Fingerprints and blood were found on the hood. Photograph of the mystery figure in the raincoat. I don't know. Could she not have left the committee chamber via the main door?
While the auction was still underway, that would risk exposing its existence to those outside this trusted circle of attendees.
Given that Miss Hart found out about it, I think its existence is already well and exposed.
The rules of the auction stated that attendees were to enter and leave via the hatch in the roof. Miss Ringer had no reason not to follow these rules. And given where the murder took place, we know that she must have done so.
after she merged... Okay.
Hold it!
But why? What possible motive could Kay have had?
That is exactly what we are hoping to establish in our upcoming interviews with Miss Faraday.
Coercive interrogation after the fact, something you seem to specialize in.
If the murderer knew that the attendees would all be leaving via the hatch, then the roof would have been the perfect place to lie in wait. So as I was saying, after she'd emerged onto the viewing platform, that's when Miss Ringer was attacked.
And then she died.
Hold it!
Her flame went out.
Flame of her life, Mr. Edgeworth. But perhaps her flame was stolen from her is more apt.
But the candelabrum that extinguished her life was one of the auction lots, meaning Kay had no way of getting a hold of it to begin with.
Miss Faraday could not have lain in wait for the victim without knowing of the storeroom's existence. She could easily have snuck down the ladder and stolen it while the auction was underway.
If only we knew where the candle holder was during the auction. That would surely clear the matter up, no? Well, either of you? Sadly, we don't have anything that could tell us much on that front at the moment.
Forgive me, sir. This is something we are hoping to establish through further investigation.
Well, isn't that a shame, Miles, my boy? It seems this line of inquiry is something of a dead end, then, isn't it? Their theory is that the victim and her killer met on the roof, and that's where the murder took place. In other words, it assumes the viewing platform was the scene of the crime. But is that really the case? Thought I had evidence that clearly shows the story of what happened that night. Time to double check. I think it's this statement. We know that she was stabbed on the elevator. Very likely. That's how the blood got there. Okay, let's try it. Not there. Great advisor testimony at all, Judge Gavel. No. Why? It is... Shut up, Edgeworth. She emerged on the viewing platform. The only exit... the storeroom. No, we know the... It could be this statement, I'm not sure. But I know it has something to do with the elevator, because we know that that's where the scene of the crime was. Like, I'm pretty sure that's what we established. Listed auction held in the big building. Items went on sale. Auction continued even after the murder occurred. Yeah. Okay, let's try it. Nope, not there either. Okay, so we gotta think about this. That's when she emerged onto the viewing platform, and that's when Miss Ringer was attacked by Miss Faraday. Okay, there's also a little bit of question about, like, where was the candelabrum and where did that come from? So let's look at evidence again. Base is a very unique shape. If it were removed from a dusty shelf or something, it'd be immediately obvious what had been standing there. Prongs of each arm are covered in blood. Spacing matches that on the wounds in the victim's chest. Was it really the murder weapon? Is it really the murder weapon? Do we have an autopsy report? Key card record. We don't. Oh wait, here it is. Caused as a set of 3 puncture wounds on the left side of the chest inflicted by a candle holder. Also a head injury post-mortem. Prominent burn mark. Oh yeah, burn mark right there. An interesting thing about the candelabrum, I thought I saw them on the desk here. But I don't think that's gonna be particularly relevant to what we're seeing right now. Okay. So... Was it blood found in the committee chamber? Was it placed there to hide the existence of the storeroom? Box in which killer hid the body. Why do they have blood on their hand already? Claim went out, and thus concludes the committee's view of the case. Was of course the hatch leading up onto the roof. I don't know if this is gonna work, but I'm gonna try it because it's like... The sequence of events is weird, right? Like, if she got attacked after she went onto the viewing platform, why is there already blood on her hand?
Objection!
There we go. Maybe you can clear something up for me, Judge Gavel. But what is Miss Hart doing here at this hearing?
She is an eyewitness. I thought it would be obvious.
Well, now, I ain't really an eyewitness. More of an, ear witness, I guess.
She's not exactly the most confidence-inspiring choice to help you make your case, is she?
I like to think I choose my allies a little more carefully than you, Mr. Edgeworth.
You should question them more thoroughly, because there's something she hasn't told you. Take a look at this. It's a photo taken by Miss Hart.
Yes, in the storeroom, correct? What of it?
According to your theory, the murder occurred up on the roof. But according to Miss Hart's testimony, she happened to witness the entire incident unfold in the storeroom. Just before she took this picture. Wait! You're saying Gavel got it! Wrong. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Ooh, what?
It's hard, if I may confirm your account of events, the events you witnessed that night. You saw the person in the picture, correct?
I sure did, clear as day. And with my own 2 eyes to boot.
And what were your impressions at that point?
My impressions? This right here is the scoop of the century? Something like that?
Yeah, that makes sense. I was hoping more for your impressions of the person in question.
Oh, that there's a walking meal ticket?
Seriously?
Just my little joke. No need to look at me like I don't sat on your lunch. Old red raincoat, right? Well, I took one look and I thought, that's our perp right there.
And therein lies the rub. For Miss Hart to have thought such a thing means that...
I didn't get to finish reading, lady.
means that the murder occurred.
Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, when will you learn to use your words? If it's an explanation of the facts that you require, you need only ask, you know.
What do you mean?
I assume you're about to raise the issue of the voices Miss Hart heard. Voices that may be unrelated.
No, I was actually talking about the fact that there's blood on the hand of the person in the photo. So if the incident hadn't happened yet, why do they have blood all over their hand? That's weird.
Objection!
Unrelated? You can do better than that.
Was one of the voices Miss Hart heard really even Miss Ringer's?
You're kidding me, right? Them folks was talking crime. Related turkey on my name ain't Lord of Dang Heart.
Ah, but did you hear them clearly?
Well, can't rightly say for sure, but I can't rightly say nothing, and you know it. They was using voice changers. I done told y'all that.
Precisely. Miss Hart heard voices, but those voices were disguised. Which means we cannot even be certain that whatever she did overhear had anything to do with this murder.
Objection!
Don't need to yell objection in order to sigh at me, Mr. Edgeworth.
It seems I overestimated you, Judge Gavel. Nonsense, Verity is the best of us, my boy. The very best. And yet she believes that what Miss Hart heard might not have anything to do with the murder. Even supposing that's the case, it doesn't prove the murder didn't happen in the storeroom. The incident happened before the victim was able to go up to the roof. That much we can say for certain. And I can tell you why. This proves that the incident happened before the victim went up to the roof. Bloody hand!
Take that!
We initially thought that the person in the red raincoat was the culprit.
Yes, because Miss Hart said as much.
Indeed, she had told us about the blood she saw on this person's hand. And I doubt many people would have thought differently given her testimony. Ergo, if this person is the killer, then the blood we see would be from when they attacked the victim. But knowing what we know now, that this person is in fact the victim, recontextualizes everything. The presence of the blood still shows that the picture was taken after the attack. But now it tells us something very important about the victim too. This picture tells us that the victim survived the attack. There's no doubt in my mind that the victim was attacked in the storeroom. But here we have photographic evidence of her standing upright and alive, albeit with a bloody hand. This can only mean that Miss Ringer survived the attack. The blood on her hand is from the wounds she had sustained. What are you talking about? Who dies from a hand wound? The wound wasn't on her hand, Mr. Wenner. I imagine she had used her hand to try and staunch a wound. That's right. While it's impossible to tell from this angle, the victim was already mortally wounded here. Oh, ho, ho. Well, that certainly would change things, wouldn't it? Very much would, not least by making it absurd to suggest that Kay was the attacker. Her encounter with the victim happened after this picture had been taken. After the victim had already been attacked and was in critical condition. To put it to you all that Kay witnessed what Kay witnessed was the victim finally succumbing to her wounds.
That would have been quite the coincidence.
The textbook case of wrong place, wrong time, I'd say.
You seem to be forgetting a rather important fact, Mr. Edgeworth.
Well, that or pretending to not remember it. What fact am I forgetting? I think it's time to wrap things up, don't you, Verity? Put the boy out of his misery. Dad, Gavel works for me! You're so dumb. Eustace, you're so dumb. Why do you keep giving her orders? That's my job. You really are. A total and utter embarrassment. I'm not! Who says that? Who says that? I hate to break it to you, but you both are. Go to it, Gavel. Put Edgeworth out of
his misery.
Why are you his babysitter? It's still weird.
As you wish.
What you're forgetting?
Miss Ringer's body was found with 3 wounds in her chest. And we all know that what those wounds are from, don't we? That's right. They're from when she was stabbed in the chest by a 3-armed candelabrum. I doubt anybody could survive such grave wounds. If you care to read the coroner's report, I'm sure you would change your tune.
Let's look at that again then, shall we? 3 puncture wounds on the left side of the chest inflicted by a candle holder. Also suffered a head injury post-mortem. Permanent burn mark on the back of the victim's right hand. Nicely done, Gavel. Now Edgeworth will have to make several objections. Yes, I'm afraid I will. What? Why? Weren't you listening? Oh, I was listening, very carefully, in fact. Hence my objections. Come on, why do you always have to undermine me? That's never my intention, I assure you. It isn't? Because you do it so well to yourself every single time already. Of course it isn't! Yeah, I knew that, because I'm... Please, Eustace, just stop for goodness sake. You've already embarrassed me enough. Huh? What do you mean, Dad? Oh my god. Alright. Yep, it was found with 3 wounds and a concussion and a burn. 3 wounds that can't have been pleasant.
Yes. Which is why we must see that the perpetrator of this cruel act pays for their sins.
Don't listen to her, Kay. She's just trying to scare you. If we could please continue on, Judge Gavel.
Very well. As I was saying, there were 3 wounds.
We all know what they're from.
Hold it!
I do, but perhaps we should ask Mr. Winner.
He does, I'm sure. Don't you, Eustace?
Who, me? Oh, you bet I do. I know this case inside and out. Who does he think he's fooling? Hey, Majin Fernie, how's it going? Is this The Last of Us? No, but it's just Ace Attorney. It's very anime. It is very, very anime. There's so much cliche. These two are something. They're something, alright. We have the spoiled child. And the dad who's severely disappointed in him. And also a crook. Yeah, The Last of Us is peak anime. They're both very anime. Very cliched. It's okay, it's still funny. Should play that instead? Maybe. Maybe we'll play it sometime. Do not drink water and try to breathe at the same time. Eustace, my boy, make an old man happy and at least glance at the coroner's report, would you? Sure, let's see. Yada yada, 3 puncture wounds, blah blah, candle holder. No way, that's what they used? Crazy. Oh. How did you not read it?
Precisely. The wounds were inflicted just as Eustace says.
She got stabbed by she got stabbed by a candelabrum. And you're sure that the stabs to the chest were the cause of death? There's no doubt about that?
None. One of the spikes of the candelabrum even pierced the victim's heart. And unless you mean to call Dr. Hertz's professional opinion into question, we can only treat that as fact.
The coroner's opinion backing up my own winning ones. Now that's what I call a flawless victory. When did you actually give us a real opinion, though? Well, I'm certainly not about to ignore the coroner's findings. Hey, what about my findings? You can't just ignore them. Maybe when you say something worth... I just realized he has this one piece of hair that just stands straight up like an exclamation point when he's surprised. That's pretty funny. But if the cause of death really was the puncture wounds to the chest from the candelabrum, that would seem to contradict one of the pieces of evidence we've gathered. Ooh, would it? Would it? Hmm. What do you mean? Oh wait, hold on. Okay, let's think about this. Let's logic this out a little bit. Okay, so in this picture, the attack has already happened. Right? But supposedly she got changed into this after the attack, and this has holes in it. Supposedly she wasn't the auctioneer. And but that has the... It's got the stab wounds in it. It's got the holes in it, but not the raincoat. The raincoat doesn't have holes. So, is that where we're going with this? Something to do with the clothing? Because they keep saying that... They've been saying that she was changed into the auctioneer's clothes after the attack. But if that was the case, then the auctioneer's clothes shouldn't have the puncture wounds on them. And the raincoat should, but the raincoat doesn't. Okay. He's not just ignoring my findings, he's ignoring me! Do something, Gavel! Oh, it's a question mark now. I'm gonna start looking at this more.
As you wish. At the very least, I will ensure that he cannot ignore my own conclusions.
Okay. When she was stabbed in the chest by a 3-armed candelabrum. She doubts anybody could survive. But the victim may not necessarily have died instantly. I think we can say that much, at least.
Perhaps, but she would surely not have lived for longer than a few moments, either. So, there are people who could survive even if you stab them in the chest?
Sure, there might be, and there might not be, too.
So, which is it? Trust me, there are not. And in case you're still tempted to believe there might be...
Read the coroner's report.
Hold it!
Cause of death is the set of 3 puncture wounds on the left side of the chest inflicted by a candle holder.
Well done for reading, Mr. Edgeworth. That report forms the basis of my own conclusions.
In other words, if I disprove what it says, I disprove your conclusions too.
You have the strangest sense of humor, but I wouldn't mind seeing you try. However, before you do, I would advise you to read that report very carefully. After all, I'm not interested in your opinions, only in solidly grounded deductions.
Very well, then you shall have my deductions.
Mr. Edgeworth?
Don't worry, Kay. Everything will be alright. Need to find something to prove that the victim was still alive and breathing immediately after the attack. I can't, case fate will be sealed. They're from the candelabrum, is what she says. Is there possibly anything else they could be? I mean, that certainly has blood on it. May have been the murder weapon, judging by the wounds to the victim's chest. Their preliminary findings. Cause of death is a set of 3 puncture wounds on the left side of the chest. Head injury. How do you know the head injury was post-mortem? Age and gender could not be discerned. Police evidence related to homicide cases. They're from when she was stabbed in the chest by the candelabrum. I don't have anything else it could have been, I think. But what else could it be? She has a head injury afterwards. I don't think there was anything else to confirm with this. Okay. Doubts anyone could survive. We read the report. So she's telling us... Should we present the report here? Let's just start here and then see where this gets us. Nope, okay. Sometimes you gotta take blind guesses in this game because it's like, I don't know what you want me to get at. You'll be fine, Edgeworth. Get over it. He was stabbed in the chest. Okay. Doubt anybody could survive such grave wounds. But she also has a burn on her hand. Which makes me think the candelabra might have been getting used. So there should have been candles on it. If you care to read the coroner's report, I'm sure you would change your tune. I am reading it, but I don't know what to make of it. Prominent burn mark on back of victim's right hand. So she had blood on her left hand and then a burn mark on the right hand. Yeah? But there's a lot of blood on her head too. Like, I would think that could really kill somebody. Okay, what if we submit the coroner's report here?
Objection!
No. What could it be? You doubt anyone could survive the grave wounds. They're very insistent that it was the candelabrum. So I think what we need to prove is that it's not the candelabrum. Find something to prove that she was still alive and breathing immediately after the attack. Oh, because her fingerprints and blood were on the hood, right? Why would the blood be on our hood if she was if she didn't survive? Alright, let's try that.
Objection!
Nope. Okay. Damn. Why not? Why? What's wrong with their statement? Was it that obvious? I'm gonna have to be more careful next time. What do you want me to get at? I am reading it, but it's like I don't know how to get... Was it placed there to hide the existence of the storeroom? Traces of blood detected inside. The auction continued even after the murder occurred. Age and gender could not be discerned. Doubt anybody could survive such grave wounds. Born from the victim's clothes. Yeah. Yeah, and the candelabrum's right there. Read the report, change our tune. Need to find something to prove the victim was still alive. Okay. How do we prove that, though? Okay. 3 wounds in her chest. Or what happened 12 years ago? May have been the murder weapon, judging by the wounds to the victim's chest. Oh, like, what else could it be? There's a very suspiciously spiky mask here, but I don't think that's gonna do that kind of wounds on a person. I wish I could remember what the top of this statue looked like also. But I don't think that's relevant since it doesn't show us. Man, not sure what to do. Made of cheap plastic, okay. Well... what if we just present the candelabrum? I really doubt that's gonna do anything though, but like, don't have a lot of ideas. Yeah, that did nothing. Okay, hold on. Let's just quick reload. We have more chances at this. Oh, did I load the wrong one? Oh, right. Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, I did load the wrong one. That one. The one where I manually saved, yeah. What have we tried already? Body was found with 3 wounds in the chest. They're from the candelabrum. Doubt anybody could survive. But I mean, clearly she's walking around. This is so stupid. Yeah. Doubt anyone could survive such grave wounds. But like, man, I don't know what we're trying to get at here. I really don't. I wish I remembered which case that candelabrum came from. Served on the committee along with Judge Gavelle. Alright, let's try pressing again, see if we can get another clue. May not necessarily have died instantly. I'm sure they're not to live for longer than a few moments. Or not. From which she was stabbed by the candelabrum. One of the spikes in the candelabrum pierced her heart. Coroner's opinion backing up his own. If the cause of death was really the puncture wounds to the chest in the candelabrum, that would seem to contradict one of the pieces of evidence. Which piece of evidence? The cause of death was from the candelabrum, like, what do you mean? That's what I don't get. Like, is it because of this? Because this doesn't have... But I thought we addressed that already. Because this doesn't have a hole in it. We were like, oh yeah, it must have been planted there later. The cause of death really was the puncture wounds to the chest. It would contradict one of the pieces of evidence. They're from when she was stabbed in the chest, but we all know what those wounds are from. Was found with 3 wounds in her chest. I mean, we could try it again, but I feel like we've already been over this in the investigation. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we concluded that that was planted post-mortem, and then that's why there's no hole in it. We tried presenting the coroner's report already, I know that much for sure. I feel like... she was stabbed, like, why... Why are there no holes in the raincoat? Right? I feel like we tried this one already, but we'll try it again. I guess I didn't. I must have done another statement. Chairman Winner, you know what this is, of course. A red raincoat, that's right, isn't it, Verity?
Yes, sir, the one Miss Ringer was wearing. I warn you, Mr. Edgeworth, you will not be thanked for retreading old ground here.
Well, I'm afraid I might have to regardless. Now then, if you'll answer me this, Judge Cavell. You told us that the victim's bloodstains were found on the coat. But do you remember where exactly they were found?
Of course, they were found on the hood and... no.
What's the matter, Verity? The hood and... was blood found anywhere else on the raincoat?
No, it was not.
Doesn't that strike you as odd? The victim died of stab wounds to the chest. Wouldn't that lead one to expect to find bloodstains in that area? And yet, there was blood only on the hood. That's a glaring contradiction if I ever saw one. The head wound the victim suffered wasn't just some incidental injury. It was inflicted before the stab wounds to her chest.
Perhaps you are correct. Perhaps the victim did sustain the head injury first. As you said, if she had been stabbed first, there should be blood in the chest area of the raincoat. Therefore, Miss Ringer cannot have been stabbed before the head injury had been inflicted on her. But even if we concede this point, that the head injury came before the chest wound, what difference would it make? How does it change our understanding of the case?
I'd say it changes things a great deal. In fact, it raises an even more fundamental contradiction.
That is quite the bold claim, Mr. Edgeworth. I have to admit you have me intrigued. Perhaps you could show us this fundamental contradiction? With some evidence.
Which piece of evidence best demonstrates the contradiction in the order of the injuries revealed? I mean, wouldn't it be the coroner's report? Because the coroner's report is saying that the head wound was post-mortem. This is Dr. Hertz's preliminary findings, according to which the victim suffered a head injury post-mortem.
The order suggested by the bloodstains on the raincoat is...
exactly the opposite, yes.
Bailiff, this court hereby subpoenas Dr. Hilda Hertz to the committee chamber with all due haste. Until she testifies, this case cannot be brought to a close.
Yes, Your Honor, I'll go and fetch her at once.
Fortunately, Dr. Hertz is a very busy woman. I doubt she'll be able to come immediately. In the meantime, there is another important angle I would like to explore. Frankly, something has been bothering me about the person at the heart of this case. The so-called ringleader. Who exactly are they?
Yeah, good point. We never looked into that, huh?
Despite having been mentioned repeatedly in this hearing, we still don't know even the most basic facts that might help us uncover their identity. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, do you have any thoughts on the matter?
I've seen nothing that might serve as clear evidence of the auctioneer's identity as of yet. But there is someone involved with the case that I can name. I suspected that at the very least they might be able to point us in the right direction. And that's... Chairman Winner. I demand that you testify as to what you know. What? It's definitely him who's behind everything, right? Are you crazy? Why would you accuse my dad?
You would cast doubt on the integrity of the chairman of the committee? You understand the implications of such an act?
I don't care who or what he is. We're talking about the truth here. About a man who seems dead set on framing Kay at all costs. The mask, the corsage, the ticket stub, and everything else. The items Kay was carrying when she was found. They were deliberately placed in her possession somehow. By Chairman Winner himself.
A shocking accusation, and one I find hard to believe. But for the sake of completeness, I must ask. Why would he do such a thing?
Cast suspicion on Kay, of course. Why else? I even managed to get him to say something to that effect.
Chairman Winner, your rebuttal, please.
I think the good chairman might be in shock. So what if I did? Did you hear me, my dear boy? I said, so what if I did? You say you got me to admit as much, but where is your proof, With no witness to speak of, your word alone is hardly enough to make an accusation like that stick. Or do you mean to tell us that you have something more to base your outburst on? He still has the arrogance he showed back at the detention center, and yet...
Mr. Edgeworth, I am going to have to ask you to explain yourself. But that is all right, Mr. Chairman.
Not at all. I'll be very interested to hear this for myself. I'm intrigued to learn where Miles might have gotten the idea that I'm some sort of criminal. It's the way that you look. I know, because of the way that you look, and this is anime. Because you'll never find a more fine and upstanding citizen than myself. There's a lot of nerve acting all innocent like that. Very well, let's start at the very beginning. The fact that the auction took place right here in this hallowed trial chamber is a point of suspicion. A location that should, by rights, only be accessible to members of the committee. Yeah, they all have keycards to the room, after all. Furthermore, these auctions seem to be held on a somewhat irregular basis. For that to be possible, there can only be one winning explanation. But that's right, Mr. Winner. The auctioneer is a member of the committee. What? No! What on earth is wrong now? What do I do, Dad? I played right into his hands! Oh, Eustace, you dumb little shit. Oh, you did indeed, you utter nitwit. But Miles, my boy, you do realize that you've cast quite the wide net with your explanation.
It's true. There are 11 members of the committee altogether. 10 given Miss Ringer's unfortunate passing. 10 potential suspects in total.
Yabba 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 yabba.
Well, it certainly isn't me.
And it can't be the chairman, can it? Whoever it is, speak up right now. Calm down, all of you, please. Well, Miles, is that all the proof you've got against me? You're very quiet all of a sudden, but it's too late to back out now. You accused a former chief prosecutor and current committee chairman of a crime. I would tell you to prepare for the worst. Momo in the basket? Cute. But there's no preparing for what you're about to face. Know my place! You've been forcing us to argue over every little detail for a while now. Where the murder happened, the order of the victim's injury, some other things I hardly even remember. But you needn't have bothered, my boy, because it's all irrelevant in the end. Think about it, the suspect herself has already said she did it. That's all that matters at the end of the day, and her sentence will be lighter for it. So rejoice. And there you have it. Feel free to pick holes in it as you see fit. Can I, when that was barely a testimony to begin with?
That man, he's a very powerful person, isn't he? It's okay, Mr. Edgeworth. Please, just let it go. I did it. I'm the murderer. I even remember doing it.
You don't remember shit. You remember a fragment of a scene. I saw a flash of something half-remembered, Kay. Nothing more. You must believe in something. Believe me when I say you should believe in your own innocence instead.
But...
I'm up against the head of the committee here. This isn't going to be easy. But he seems to think he's already won. Perhaps I can use that against him. I have been forcing you to argue over everything. It's my job. Even if the broad strokes are correct, it doesn't make something true. Oh, don't be such a stick in the mud. I'd say the bigger picture is more than enough here. After all, every case has its little inconsistencies and contradictions. If we let ourselves get bogged down in every single one, we'd never make any arrests. Yeah, you would. And once we did, the trials would drag on forever. Even you understand that, right? Not in the slightest. Hence my inquiry into the details. Oh, to be so young and pig-headed. Anyway, you keep digging into these little details. All the things I'm nitpicking at, I seem to recall the ringleader's identity and the faulty coroner's report being critical points of contention. Yes, I was listening, my boy, but critical is a matter of opinion. How can you possibly suggest that such fundamental issues are not important? Perhaps it is your ability to make sound judgments that should be on trial here today. Oh, bravo, my young hothead. Wonderfully cutting stuff. You do like to try, though, don't you? All irrelevant, he says. There's no way any of what we've discussed today is irrelevant, not unless you intend to bury the truth. But none of it is relevant, dear boy. The only reason you keep trying to make it relevant is because otherwise you're up a creek without a paddle. She already confessed. Yeah, but like, just because she confessed to something doesn't make it the truth. Kay is suffering from amnesia, so any statement she makes should be taken with at least a grain of salt. Exactly! Oh, shut the hell up. Even so, it doesn't exactly solve anything for us, does it, dear boy? And it would be nonsensical to dismiss her confession outright. I tell you what, why don't we ask her one last time? Though I'm sure she'll just say she did it again. Fine, let's do it. Let's ask her again. See if she really believes herself to be the culprit.
Huh? You mean me? Is this really what you want, Mr. Edgeworth? If it goes badly, it could significantly weaken your position.
I know, but there's no other way. I only request that I be the one to question her. You really know how to tug at an old man's heartstrings, you know. But fine, ask away. On one condition. Oh shit. This seems important. If this turns out to be a waste of time, that's it. We'll call the proceedings to an end then and there. Agreed? Call the proceedings to an end? You mean the hearing? Yes, dear boy, that's right. Perhaps you aren't a complete muddlehead after all. He's so mean to his son, even though he is an idiot. Now, just so we're clear, if we ask again and all that happens is that the girl confirms her guilt, she's officially declared guilty on the spot. Yes, that sounds like a great plan, if I do say so myself. That's it. You just declare her guilty just like that. That's the gist of it. It's a big risk, but he's going to find a way to condemn her either way if we don't do something. Kay.
Yes?
I know it's a lot to ask, but I need you to think. Do you remember anything else about what happened on the day of the murder? Anything that might help us prove your innocence?
Why? Why are you still fighting it, Mr. Edgeworth? It's no use. I can't be of help to you. Sorry. I'm too scared to try and remember anymore. What if I remember something even worse? And if I did? Just be making more trouble for you. Please, just accept it. The Kay you thought you knew is a dangerous criminal. A criminal who let you down and betrayed your trust.
Don't worry, Kay. You have nothing to be afraid of. May not have known you for very long, but I know you well enough. And right now, I'd say I know you better than you know yourself. Would never commit a murder. Could never. Because this is who you really are. Yatagarasu. You're the great thief, Yatagarasu. A noble outlaw who would never stoop so low as to kill.
I can't do it. I'm sorry. Cause all I can see is the one memory that's returned. I have to face it.
Hold it!
No, the only evidence of your guilt is the confession they forced out of you. As I said earlier, you have to believe that you're better than that. Or are you saying you don't believe a word of what I've been telling you?
It's not that. You're trying so hard to help me. And you're risking so much for me. It's too much. You have to stop. I'm begging you.
Ah, so that's what's going on. I thought it was strange, but now I see. The reason you're allowing yourself to be railroaded into accepting your fate. It's because of me, isn't it? Which is exactly what the Kay I know would have done.
You're a good person, Mr. Edgeworth.
Sorry to burst your bubble, but I'm not. And I don't plan on becoming one anytime soon. Because despite all your wishes to the contrary, I'm still trying to help you. So you see, I've merely been servicing my own ego, regardless of what I put you through. Now let's try this again. See the good in yourself, Kay. Remember the noble thief you truly are. Not in memory of you committing the murder, you need to question it with all you have. That's all I ask. So please, do it for me. I don't want to scream too loud. Kay.
What's wrong? Did you remember something?
Oh, it'd be like some cliche movie plot if she did.
Cow!
What? Excuse me? This one? This cow? Okay? What? Nani? Huh? Cow?
Mr. Edgeworth, if you could perhaps ask her for a few more details?
Well, Kay, what can you tell us about this cow?
I remember now! The person in the red raincoat, she had it in her hand. A stuffed cow! I can see it so clearly now!
Are you sure?
Are you sure, Miss Faraday? Are you absolutely certain? Yes, I'm sure. This court acknowledges the defendant's latest statement as new testimony.
Objection!
Have you lost your mind, Verity? We can't accept testimony like this.
With all due respect, Mr. Chairman, information pertaining to the victim and her possessions is
New and highly relevant evidence.
Objection!
Need I remind you of the addled state of her memory? Oh no, this simply won't do.
addled, but if we reclaim her memories unreliable now, then our own argument is weakened, sir. You said yourself only a few minutes ago. Thanks to the suspect's confession, we need not worry ourselves over the finer details, did you not? Were we to call the validity of her memories into question, then we must also call into question the confession on which our entire argument is based. Is that really the most advisable course of action?
Yes, you're right. Proceed as you see fit, then.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Still in the game, but only by the skin of our teeth. This is how Phoenix feels. Only thanks to Judge Gavel's intervention. It's almost as if she was on our side for a second.
Well, Mr. Edgeworth, the stuffed animal.
I believe the cow in question is this thing here, Your Honor. We found it in the storeroom and believe it is yet another auction lot.
Wait, that's...
Do you know something, Gavel?
No, It's just not what I imagined.
Because it's a rather odd thing for the victim to have been carrying. I should look it over carefully. Alright. The right horn seems intact, but I can't say it's doing much for the overall symmetry of the stuffed toy.
Look, Mr. Edgeworth, it moves!
Does?
It sounds like sand being crushed.
Seemed there's a recording device hidden inside. And... Knew it was you the moment I laid eyes on you. You can't hide that burn from me. Nothing to say for yourself. I've waited so long for this day, and now I'll finally have my revenge.
Ah!
Could this be the moment of the murder?
And someone made a recording of it.
Did it with a recording device that captured part of a conversation. One of the people recorded had a prominent burn.
Hey, that's them right there! Them's the voices I heard. Sure as eggs is eggs. Unfortunately, we have no way of verifying when these voices were recorded. It's possible they have nothing to do with the murder. If only there was some accompanying video footage.
You got bugs in your ears or something, lady? I done told you, them's the voices I heard. We already know the victim was holding that thing, right? So it's gotta be from when she got it.
Yes, it is a possibility, but a weak one without more than your word to back it up. We need something more, something credible.
Need? Yet again, she seems to be stepping in to help. Judge Gavel, I think we all know the voices are from the moment of the murder. Consider for a moment the words we heard one of the speakers say. I knew it was you the moment I laid eyes on you. Can't hide that burn from me. I believe we have something that could explain what those words are referring to and how it's all related. Which piece proves the voices are from when the murder occurred? Burn on her hand.
Coroner's preliminary findings. How do they prove anything?
Indeed, one on the page shows that the voices must be from the time of the murder. Burn mark.
Take that!
Think again on the words we heard. This part in particular sticks out in my mind. Can't hide that burn from me. The victim had a prominent burn mark on the back of her right hand. And what of it? According to Kay's testimony, the victim was carrying the stuffed cow toy. And a burn mark, an identifying mark unique to the victim, was mentioned on the recording it captured. Ha! It's just a coincidence. Stuff like that happens all the time, right? Question mark here. Surprised!
I'm not so sure that it does, especially not in this case. The court accepts that the recording may be from the time of the murder.
In which case, one of the two voices must belong to the real culprit. And based on the content of the conversation, it seems likely that it was the one we hear the most. That still doesn't tell us anything about the killer's true identity, or even if they're male or female. Due to the voice changes, correct. Unfortunate, but unavoidable.
One thing, however, has become clear. We are now able to say that the voices Miss Hart heard were those of Miss Ringer and her killer.
Just like I done told you they was.
Can say something else now, too. Let's hear it. That is, if you don't mind, Mr. Chairman.
Do as you wish.
According to Miss Hart, just before the murder occurred, 2 people came up to the storeroom from the committee chamber on the elevator. The ringleader and one of the auction attendees. It seems that this was the point at which money exchanged hands. The murder happened immediately afterwards. And the auction carried on after that. All of which points to one key fact. What else does the latest revelation tell us? The ringleader was the killer, Miss Ringer was the killer, the ringleader was the victim. Ringleader must have been the killer. Because if we, you know, obviously the victim was Miss Ringer. Because she's the one, yeah, like, whoever found it was like, I know that burn mark, I'm gonna stab you. So they were the killer, so that has to be the ringleader. If she's not the ringleader. Since the ringleader was the auction's sole auctioneer, then it follows that they cannot be the victim. Hey, Gavel! Not right now, Eustace. There's a good boy.
And if they weren't the victim, then they can only have been the killer.
Compelling argument, but hardly conclusive.
I'm fully aware of that, Your Honor. I was merely warming up for the main event. There's certain traces left on the scene that seem to suggest the ringleader was the killer.
Then please hurry up and show us.
What is something that was placed on the scene that points to the ringleader as having been the killer? Something placed on the scene? The clothes box? Because they hid the body in there, right? I don't know that... Ringleader wore a white jacket, white gloves, and a magenta flower and a mask. Age and gender could not be identified. Something placed on the scene. Let's try this, though. Because it was locked, right? And the only one who could have unlocked it would have been the ringleader. So evidence clearly shows that the ringleader... No. I don't get it, yeah. Nope. Nope. We don't get it. Yep. Oh, that was shade. She said for once he agrees with this idiot boy. If Ringleader was the killer, there's something they would have wanted to hide. If you wish us to believe that searching the Ringleader's killer, we'll need some evidence to that effect. The clothes? Because how else would they have been- she have been put into the clothes? No? Shit. The ringleader was the killer. Good luck getting your revenge. Something that was placed. Was it the fact that the cow was put back?
Take that.
No. Okay. I'm gonna reload before this gets too out of hand. What could it be? Okay, so it's not the. It's not the fact that they changed clothes. It's not the fact that they hid the body. What could it be? Okay. Something placed on the scene that points to the ringleader having been the killer. Is it the letter?
Take that.
No. I mean, what would it be? The ringleader was a killer. That's something they would have wanted to hide. Okay, what would they have hidden? Something that was placed on the scene that points to the ringleader as having been the killer. Is it the purple flower? But it was found on Kay's possession, wasn't it? It was something that they needed to hide. I mean, they could have made... they might have needed to hide this. No. Yeah, I don't get it either. I feel so dumb in this game sometimes. Something placed on the scene that points to the ringleader having to been the killer that they would have wanted to hide. What did they want to hide? The murder weapon? I don't know. If it's not her if it's not the clothes, like, which would be the reason why they switched the clothes. This would have been the one. It's the only one I could think of. I don't know. Yeah, it's not that one. I definitely would have thought it would have been the clothes, so I'm not sure where we're going with this. Oh god, I should have resaved. Okay. Something placed on the scene that points to them being the killer. We know that the ringleader was a member of the committee. Could it be the key card? But wasn't this her key card? Wasn't that what we proved?
Take that.
Yeah, that's not it. What did they want to hide? How was it not how was it not this? They wanted to hide the body, right? I did try this, right? I did. And they said no. I want to fix the save. I feel like this is gonna take us a while. I feel like we're gonna be like trying everything until I figure out what the heck the game's trying to tell us to do. Since they were the sole auctioneer, if they weren't the victim, then they could only have been the killer. Okay, here's what we save. There. Something placed on the scene that points to the ringleader as the killer. Something that they would have tried to hide. Each participant in the auction wore one. It's not their clothes, and it wasn't the cow. We're grasping at straws now. I feel like I tried the letter already, right? Something that was placed on the scene? Not the mask, is it? No, it's not the mask. Maybe you have to do... What if I did this specific mask? Something that was placed on the scene. Again, we're just grasping at straws because I literally don't know what we're trying to get at. Okay, which ones have we not done yet? Have we done the coat yet? I think I just did the coat, right? Oh! It literally said it right there that they left it there to hide the existence of the storeroom. The killer deliberately left a large pool of blood at the foot of the Goddess of Justice statue. It was due to the blood that we originally thought that the murder had happened in this chamber. But it was simply a ruse designed to cover up the blood that had dripped down from the storeroom. In order to conceal the existence of the underground auction, correct? Correct. The culprit had nothing to do with the auction. They would have had no reason to cover up that blood. Which further supports the theory that the ringleader and the killer were one and the same. And as to the identity of the ringleader, do you have anyone you'd like to name? The auction is always held in this committee chamber, with its storeroom located just overhead. So at the very least, we know the murderous ringleader has some connection to the committee. Yes, yes. And you suspect me, correct? As the committee's most powerful member, that should hardly be a surprise, right?
Objection.
You're a fine prosecutor, and that much I'll give you. But I think I may have mentioned already, you're also hopelessly naive. You've got nothing, dear boy, have you? No evidence whatsoever. Unless you've got something to share after all. I have any evidence to show that Chairman Winter's the murderer? I'm pretty sure I don't. Don't we gotta bluff? Aren't we supposed to be bluffing? Phoenix style? That... Oh wait, but we let him think he was one, right? I don't have anything. I just don't. I literally don't. It's Chairman Winter himself who brought up the fact that I suspected him. He seemed confident right from the get-go that he's untouchable. Which means he knows. He knows I have nothing. Oh, well, Miles, my boy, time to pay the piper. I've always wanted to say that. Bertie's all yours.
Wait, dang it! I just remembered something.
Huh? Did you have amnesia too?
it just done came to me. Flash of inspiration, you know how it is.
Very well, say your piece.
Objection.
What are you doing, Verity?
Sir Edgeworth has made it clear that he won't give up until every last lick of hope has been extinguished. So extinguish we must, lest he try to drag us through this excruciating process again in the future.
Yeah, what she said. I don't quite get it, but it sounded pretty cool. I think she's trying to help us. Don't worry, Dad. I'll help Cavell bring this to a winning finish. We'll show them how wrong they are. Fine, let's hear what that witness has to say.
You heard the chairman, Miss Hart, if you would be so kind.
Well, all right then. Here goes nothing.
The facts, Miss Hart, and nothing but the facts, please.
Don't you worry your pretty little head on that front. I'm a journalist. Truth's my middle name.
Color me officially worried.
So the ringleader's the killer, right? Which makes the victim one of them auction goers. Thing is, that don't add up. I kind of let people coming down that hatch, see? Then that murder happened, and then the auction started back up again. Now had me a look back downstairs right after that.
No.
And wouldn't you know it, there were 11 little duckies all lined up in a row again.
How?
You're sure of this, Miss Hart?
Sure can be, your gavelship. Saw 'em with my own two peepers.
So, 11 before the murder, and 11 again right after means... Wait, that's a thingy! Contradiction, Eustace. Do try to keep up. Miss Hart, did nothing really change at all?
I done told you already. They carried right on again like nothing even happened. Oh, except for... It wasn't nothing much, but...
What is it?
That little old mallet doodad? You can't have yourself an auction without one. Kind of like the one Missy over there has got, but different.
The auctioneer's hammer.
That's the boy! I done heard that thing banging and clanging right the way through, then nothing, just like that.
So the noise of the hammer stopped midway through. But it has something to do with the murder. That's why they gave her the concussion when they knocked her out cold. Miss Hart's observations about what happened during the mysterious auction. Now we know what the murder weapon is.
If what Miss Hart is telling us is true, we have something of a problem. Namely, that if the victim is neither the auctioneer nor one of the attendees, your entire theory cannot stand, Mr. Edgeworth.
Chalk one up for justice. Eat that, Edgeworth.
See, Mr. Edgeworth, there really was nothing we could do.
Yeah, there must be something we're overlooking. Something we still don't have an explanation for. Just need to think. I can't, Kay is. All right, kids, do we finally have all our answers now? If so, then I expect you to make good on...
One moment, sir. I worry that it might still be a little early to pass judgment. After all, we have one more matter yet to resolve. Until we do, we cannot claim complete and total victory over Mr. Edgeworth.
We're talking about the coroner's report?
Is that not so, Mr. Edgeworth? Frankly, I expected you to have raised your voice by now. Allowed hold it, perhaps?
No, yes, of course. Once again, she has rescued us from the jaws of defeat. Very well, let's get this over with, shall we? What is this one matter that still remains?
Why, the contradiction in the coroner's report, sir.
That's... I'm back with the witness, Your Honor! Needler is the girl, right? Yeah, Florence Needler, and then Hilda Hertz.
What's all this about? Why'd you call us back down here? Did somebody suddenly fall ill? I'll have a compress ready in 2 shakes of... Ow! This better be good. Did somebody else drop dead? Well, they might soon wish they had.
Dr. Hertz, Miss Needler, thank you for coming on such short notice. Let me assure you, this won't take long.
Quit trying to butter me up and cut to the chase, will ya?
Of course. We summoned you here to confirm something.
What is Judge Cavell up to?
Dr. Hertz, this court asks that you provide the unabridged truth regarding the following. Do you stand by your preliminary findings? Can you vouch for their complete and total accuracy?
Grandma doesn't make mistakes ever.
That's strange.
Huh? What do you mean?
In the course of this trial, an error was indeed found in her report. So I ask again for the truth, Dr. Hertz. Did you alter, tamper with, or in any way falsify your findings?
That's awful. How can you even say that? What are you asking me for? Why the heck would I want to do that?
Maybe the findings were altered before they got to us, but after they were officially made and the official one is somewhere else?
To help the true culprit, of course.
As if I'd know anything about all that. I just know I didn't do anything of the sort.
And that seems doubly strange. What other explanation could there be for the discrepancy in your report? Mr. Edgeworth, I wonder if you might have any thoughts on the matter. It's not like you to be coy, I must say.
Why does she keep taking charge and helping me? Still don't know what she's trying to do, but I'll happily take what I can get. Everything was recorded accurately and then handed off to Mr. Winner according to protocol, and the report shouldn't contain any mistakes. Whoa, wait! For the record, I didn't do anything to the report. I guess we'll see, won't we? Dr. Hertz, perhaps we could begin with your side of the story?
Why do we even need to? This is pointless.
I'll be the judge of what's pointless, thank you very much.
We have patients waiting back at the hospital. But Grandma, ouch! We really don't have time for this.
Would you please help us? I can't stress how important this is.
Grandma says she'll testify. But could you please make it quick? If we're not back soon, people will suffer.
And yet you had no qualms about taking your time and buying cotton candy the last time we saw you. We'll let you go as soon as we can, I promise. Assuming you tell us the truth, that is. The so-called mistake in the report.
No way there's a mistake in Grandma's report. Not never. I've been dealing with the dead longer than you've been alive, Sonny Jim. Me writing something wrong is about as likely as... Ow! And what the heck do you think I'd stand to gain by doctoring a file? Don't make a lick of sense. And that's all she has to say. Nothing funky here.
See, it's just as I thought. There's no chance the good doctor doctored her findings, but that doesn't mean someone else didn't. How about we ask her about what her findings actually were?
Do you swear by the holy goddess that this testimony is true?
Of course, Grandma's never told a lie in her...
Your opinions are not necessary, Nurse Needler. Your grandmother's the subject of this inquiry, not you.
Not necessary? That's not fair. I'm the only ally poor Grandma has. Go ahead and shout objection left and right, but you best be prepared then, Mr. Ex-Prosecutor.
Oh, I'm more than prepared. I'm ready to expose the truth behind the error in the report. Sorry, I know you're in a hurry, but I'm still gonna press everything.
Hold it!
Never. You're saying that Dr. Hertz is infallible?
She has to be. A doctor can't afford to make mistakes.
That's what malpractice is for. Malpractice insurance. I'm just saying, it's because they make mistakes sometimes. Everybody's human. You make mistakes, it happens. It just sucks when it does.
Even a veteran like Grandma would be out of a job if she messed up even once. So there's no way she of all people would... I got a whole hospital relying on me. Might be you can bungle your work and survive, mister, but I can't.
Dealing the dead for longer than I've been alive. And you've really never made a single mistake in all that time?
Doctoring's all about experience. The longer you've been at it, the better you get.
If only the same were true of prosecuting. Chairman Winner would be the best in the business. But I think we can all agree that's not the case. Oh, you really are a devil, Miles. But you're also quite wrong. I've never once made a mistake either. Bullshit. After all, I have people to do that for me. I'm too busy for foul-ups, and lucky for me, I don't have to make them. Isn't having people just grand? That's not how that's supposed to work.
Don't you go trying to make doctrine and lawyer sound the same. They ain't nothing alike. Nothing alike, I tell ya.
Hold it!
The victim appears to have put this raincoat on after sustaining the head injury, and yet there was not a single drop of her blood in the chest area of the raincoat. Therefore, she must have been hit in the head before she was stabbed in the chest, making it pre-mortem.
Oh, that's ouch! I don't need you to teach me how to suck eggs, young man. My dang report already says what you just said, don't it?
The report states that the head injury appears to have been sustained post-mortem, which is the exact opposite of what I just said.
Oh. Sure. I diligently dictated that report to Florence here, and she wrote it all down just like I said. Something happened to it after that, weren't nothing to do with me.
You dictated it. If you could please tell me more.
I diligently dictated that report to Florence. Anything after that weren't nothing to do with me.
Hold it!
Just so we're on the same page, what were your conclusions regarding the body?
Well, like I said, ouch! Sorry, it was, death from a good hard knockout to the noggin.
And can you say for certain when that knock happened, Dr. Hertz?
Pre-mortem, of course. Chest wound happened after the poor girl died. I told Florence that, and she wrote it right down, so that's what it says in my danged report.
That may be what you told her, but I think we're finally getting to the truth. What would she gain?
Hold it!
May not have stood to gain anything from it, but what about your granddaughter?
Me? I didn't stand to gain anything either. Never mind her. What about your little friend over there, huh? She'd stand to gain something for sure. Look at you trying to accuse my sweet innocent Florence of wrongdoing. Yeah, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Wish you'd tell that to Chairman Winner.
Anyhow, nobody doctored that report, you hear? Nobody.
Hold it!
Did anything stand out as strange to either of you when you were examining the body?
Let's see. Huh? What's that, Grandma? Pretty strange young fella showed up, that's for sure.
Strange man? Who? Means us. She means Edgeworth.
Dressed like a dang fool he was, all frilly around the neck and such.
Being cold.
And the dangest thing of all, even though we all knew the idiot boy was about to get fired, he still insisted on messing with my scene. That's right, I'm talking about you, mister. Ruffle-necked ruffian, crimson-suited creep!
Oh, so Mr. Edgeworth is a ruffian and a creep?
Those are not words you need to commit to memory, Kay.
Dr. Hertz doesn't sound like she's lying.
No. But she only communicates the word granddaughter. I should probably try to make sure that Nurse Needler is being truthful too. Ain't nothing to do with you. You diligently dictated it to Florence. All right.
Objection!
Dr. Hertz, I'd like you to take a look at the report for yourself.
Oh, I'll read it to— Ouch! This ain't what I said. This ain't what I said at all.
What? What do you mean exactly?
I don't know. But I can't say that.
Miss Needler, if you are attempting to bury Dr. Hertz's truth, I will gladly hear her confession myself on behalf of the Goddess of Justice.
Dr. Hurt seems to be telling Judge Gavelle something in private.
What? I see. Very well. Allow me to relay to everyone what you have just told me. Ain't no doubt about what I said. I dictated my findings to Florence just like I told you I did. The fuddle-headed young thing must have wrote it down wrong or something. Wow, what a great impression!
Yes, but was it really necessary? So in summary, there's an error in the report. It was all because of you, Nurse Needler.
The truth facts have now been shown to be that the head injury occurred prior to the chest wound. The question now, Miss Needler, is why did you introduce such an error?
Just a minute, Verity. You make it sound as if the poor girl did it deliberately. Whereas it seems to me she just made a little mistake. Pre-mortem, post-mortem, they're practically the same word, don't you think? But that's not all the fucking report says. It says cause of death is set of 3 puncture wounds inflicted by the candle holder. Except they mean 2 completely opposite things. That was deliberate, no doubt about it.
Well, why would she want to change it?
Exactly. Thanks. Ouch! You don't get away that easy. Explain yourself, young lady.
But Grandma, I...
You submitted a falsified report, an act that led to Kay being accused of murder. You owe us an explanation.
I can't tell you.
Not don't want to, but can't? This is really rather unpleasant, don't you think? Ganging up on this poor, considerate girl is only looking after her grandmother. She has nothing to do with anything. She simply made one tiny mistake, so why not leave it there? You'd like that, wouldn't you? Because the only person her testimony would hurt is you. What on earth do you mean, my boy? Seeing as you're now a de facto ex-prosecutor, you're going to need to explain yourself better than that. Be happy to. I'll even spell it out for you. Nurse Needler's role in this crime was very important because she's the real murderer, she's a co-conspirator. She's the real victim? No. She's a co-conspirator. Nurse Needler doctored the report in order to cover for her accomplice.
Ouch!
So she's a co-conspirator, and that's this innocent young thing. Do share your grounds for making such a wild accusation, dear boy. Murder couldn't have been committed by one person working on their own. Without at least 2 people, it wouldn't have been possible to maintain attendee numbers. Or doctor the report. But maintain attendee numbers, I think, is the bigger issue right now. The auctioneer was the murderer and the victim was one of the attendees. The fact that a witness testified to there being 11 attendees after the murder doesn't make sense.
Hey, watch it! Y'all gotta call my good work into this in question now, too?
Good word, sorry. It's not what I meant. In fact, it's quite the opposite. I'm taking you at your word, which means there must be a co-conspirator. I know it's hard, my boy, but sometimes you just have to accept that you were wrong. I wasn't wrong. I just hadn't considered the possibility of the killer having an accomplice. But as soon as we do, things start to fall into place. The killer's accomplice returned to the auction room in place of the victim. There would indeed have been 11 attendees both before and after the murder. Well, so that's your thinking, is it? It's certainly an intriguing theory. But surely the imposter would have been spotted right away. Don't imagine that Nurse Needler looks strikingly different from the victim in build and structure. With the help of a mask, she could very easily have replaced Miss Ringer without anybody noticing. Well, Nurse Needler, is that what happened? Did you take the victim's place at the auction?
I wouldn't do something like...
Now tell us, the ringleader, who were they?
I can't tell you, I just can't. It hurt Grandma too. Ow! But Grandma... Don't you worry about me, I can take it. You just tell me everything, child. But... Grandma!
She unbundled her hair. I was right. She was an accomplice.
Miss Needler, why? Well, Miss Needler, can you explain yourself?
Yes. Huh? Oh, thank you, Grandma, but I'm home right now. I confess it, I changed places with Miss Ringer.
So you admit that you were working with the ringleader?
Yeah, I was helping them. I don't know how, but they found out Miss Ringer was going to attack them.
The culprit was going to be attacked by the victim?
They seemed pretty sure it was going to happen that night, so they made a counter plan. They wanted to strike first, and they wanted me to help them. I was told to go to the storeroom before the auction began and wait there. Now hold on right there, Missy. I ain't seen nothing. My eyes don't lie. If you'd have been there before the auction, I would have bumped right into you. I was there the whole way through, and you weren't there for a bit of it. I'm not lying.
Well, that's easy for you to say, but you were lying about uttering that report only a few moments ago. And the Grawl well aware of the number of potential hiding places in that storeroom. Are we? Where exactly are you trying to say our friend the nurse was hiding? Nurse Needler hid here while she was waiting in the storeroom.
Take that!
The clothes box? She hid inside this clothes box. Oh, she did she?
Huh, well it was there the whole time, even before I moseyed in. Like I done told you, it all had them chains all around it. I had to hide in there myself, really, but it was all locked up tight, so I had to go elsewhere.
Imagine that's because Nurse Needler was already lying in there by the time you arrived.
That's right, we didn't want anybody to open it or it would have really blown our cover. So the ringleader told me to climb in and wait until it was time for my part of the plan. And then they wrapped up the whole box in chains. And I think they took the elevator downstairs not so long after. It was just before the auction was due to start.
So as the auction was beginning, you and Miss Hart would have been the only people in the storeroom?
Yeah, I think so. The auction proceeded as it always did, until a certain customer came upstairs to complete her purchase. That was when the incident occurred. Miss Hart overheard the victim and the culprit exchanging words around then. You betcha! I was behind the statue there shaking like a dang leaf the whole time.
In the middle of their quarrel, Miss Ringer was killed by the auctioneer. I imagine that the auctioneer then carried Miss Ringer's body over to the clothes box, in which Nurse Needler merged and swapped places with the victim. After placing Miss Ringer's body inside the box, Nurse Needler's role now was to pretend to be Miss Ringer. The two of them then returned to the room below as if nothing had happened. Does that about sum up what happened in the storeroom, Nurse Needler?
Yes, in fact, that's exactly what happened. Hold up, so you just waltzed right back on in and nobody noticed? This is two completely different people we're talking about. You're telling me not a one of the other folks down there at the auction cotton on?
Why would they? The other auction goers had no reason to notice the difference when Nurse Needler entered because... she had stolen the victim's clothes, probably. As we've seen, Miss Ringer and Nurse Needler are about the same build. What's more, the auction rules required attendees to wear their masks at all times. If Nurse Needler were wearing the same clothes as Miss Ringer, nobody would have been any the wiser.
No, and they weren't. I borrowed Miss Ringer's clothes and ouch! And left the poor child in her smalls? Have you no respect, girl? No, Grandma, I thought the same thing. It wouldn't be nice to leave her like that. So when the ringleader wasn't looking, I put that raincoat on her.
So that's how Miss Ringer came to be wearing it. Thus the auction was able to carry on as before.
Yes, the part where I caught the red raincoat on film came just after.
Yeah.
Yeah, must be. Then it all makes sense. Right after that was when I went on over and looked downstairs through the gap in the elevator. Spied me 11 happy little auction goers, then back I snuck into my little hidey hole.
Don't tell me you were hiding back there the entire time after that.
Well, that is not exactly...
What is it? Did something happen?
So, maybe I ought to mention this before, but I fell asleep for a few winks after that. Well, passed out. Unconscious, you might say.
What? What happened?
Oh, nothing much. Kinda silly, really, but, it was this sudden loud noise, and it startled me just a little bit, you know? Alright, maybe more than a little, but I just witnessed a murder. Can't blame a girl for getting jumpy. Guess I got my heart shook and my head faint. Before I knew it, I was out like a light. The time I came to was next dang day, and then y'all were clanking down that ladder.
See, so you were startled by a loud noise and fell unconscious? PSN is back? Did it go down?
Not per se, but well, after that auction was over, all the masks were back on the rack. So I reckon the guests done finished up, filed out one by one like they was supposed to.
Huh. Nurse Needler, once the auction had restarted, what exactly were you doing?
I was pretending to be Miss Ringer and placing bids just as the ringleader wanted. I had to win the clothes box as I'd been instructed. I had a dead body inside after all. Imagine if somebody else had won it. We would have been in real trouble then.
So you had no idea that the victim had vacated the box in the meantime?
No, not until we came back up so I could pay for it. That was when we noticed. Ringleader told me to go look for her right away. Except I found some other girl collapsed at the foot of the ladder instead.
Okay.
Yes, she must have fallen from up on the roof and been knocked unconscious. Yes, the victim must have left the hatch wide open, huh?
That would explain it. Kay would have been so shocked by seeing Miss Ringer fall motionless right in front of her. She wouldn't have seen the open hatch and fallen right through it. It explains the noise that caused you to faint as well, Miss Hart. It was the sound of Kay crash landing onto the storeroom floor.
Yeah, I suppose. Can't believe something like that done knocked me out for so long, though.
So in summary, by the time Miss Needler found Kay, you were already sound asleep behind the statue. I think we got a good grasp on what occurred up to this point now. Nurse Needler, if you would continue.
Sure, so I found Kay, and next I found Miss Ringer, and I put them both in the clothes box. Couldn't risk any of the auction goers seeing them. That would have caused a real hullabaloo.
Is that your idea or the ringleader's?
Theirs. But putting the raincoat on Miss Ringer was my own idea. I tried to get rid of it before they found out what I'd done.
I imagine they were none too pleased when it showed up as a surprise piece of evidence in this case. And lastly...
Oh, and lastly, the ringleader and I put her in an auctioneer's outfit we'd prepared.
Of course, which completed the deception and made everyone think she was the auctioneer.
All in all, the auction finished up without anybody noticing anything, and that was that.
Now that we know the extent of your crimes, Nurse Needler, if you have anything further to share, I'd advise you to do so immediately.
I wish I could tell you more, but I'm sorry, that's all I know. Oh, except for one other thing. It did seem a little strange, I guess. When I was borrowing Miss Ringer's clothes, I took everything I could, but I couldn't take her hair, obviously, so ouch! Dang right you couldn't take her hair. What kind of medical professional are you?
That's where you draw the line, so taking her clothes was okay?
Our hair was totally different. The style, the length, everything. I kind of panicked. But the ringleader thought of everything, including wigs. 2 of them, in fact. There was a straight one and a wavy one. They were both stashed in the clothes box.
2 wigs, but why?
Right? I wondered that too. I thought maybe they were worried she might have changed up her style. Anyway, I took the straight one. That was the one that matched her hair on that day.
Leaving a wavy wig in the box. Okay. That's everything you know. There's nothing else you're forgetting?
No? Huh? No, really, Grandma, that's everything.
I take it that you really have no idea who the ringleader might be?
Sorry, I only know that they were in charge of the auction. I didn't see them without their mask on. And they were pretty careful to keep their identity a secret from everyone.
I can't get something concrete on them. Oh, well, Miles, are we about done? You've proven the nurse was part of the murder plot, but sadly for you, it doesn't change a whole lot. Because it does nothing to prove that Kay Faraday isn't the ringleader. But she was fucking passed out! Huh? How does that not prove it? Because Healer came up with the auctioneer, with the ringleader, and then they found the collapsed Kay and shoved them both in the box. And justice must prevail. We can't change the law, even for your sake. Are you on, like, fucking cuckoo juice, dude? Is this it? Am I not going to be able to save Kay?
Objection!
Francesca, I love you! Francesca, what are you doing here?
As I told you before, Miles Edgeworth, where the case leads, I follow. Your dedication is an inspiration to us all. But don't go getting the wrong idea, little brother. I'm only here to deliver the truth regarding the suspect. I'm certainly not here to forgive you for abandoning the way as a prosecutor.
I understand that.
You should thank your former subordinate for what I'm about to share. In his desperation to help Kay Faraday, he gave me a valuable piece of information.
Detective Gumshoe did that. Yeah, Gumshoe's always coming in clutch. He's a homie.
Prepare yourself, Miles Edgeworth, was the final piece of the puzzle. Rosie Ringer's head wound was the first of the injuries she suffered, not the second.
Sorry, Francesca, you're late.
Well, someone say something!
Yes, there's no easy way to say this, Francesca, but we already proved that ourselves.
You... what?
Just a few minutes ago. Ah!
Why didn't you say so sooner?
Didn't exactly give us a chance.
And I suppose you know all about some murder weapon too.
That it's a gavel? No, not yet.
Ha! Good. Then listen up. The victim was struck on the head with a blunt object bearing a circular surface. And the wounds to the chest were actually inflicted post-mortem.
Circular surface.
Objection.
And you're certain of that, I assume? Your sources are above board?
Two trusted medical professionals reached the same conclusion independently. You couldn't ask for more.
Objection.
That's certainly good to know. Unfortunately, you're overstepping the bounds of...
Of what? I am the prosecutor in charge of Interpol's investigation into the underground auction, and this murder occurred during that auction. It would be negligent of me not to pursue leads pertaining to related parties. Especially the victim.
Ma, you've really become quite the force to be reckoned with you, haven't you, my dear?
When all parties are in agreement, the victim died from a blow to the head.
Alright, death occurred as a result of a heavy blow to the head with a circular object. Chest wounds inflicted post-mortem.
Sadly, the murder weapon itself has yet to be identified.
Based on the shape, I might have an idea or two. But guys, I didn't turn up any other weapon during my investigation! And yet one need only think about the setting and an auctioneer's tools and the answer should be obvious. An object with a circular surface used in an auction. We're obviously talking about Judge Gaville's hammer, the auctioneer's hammer. What would an auctioneer have readily at hand? An auctioneer's hammer, of course. But we never found one of those.
The auctioneer was indeed the killer. It does seem a likely candidate for the murder weapon. But without evidence to support your theory, it remains nothing more than that.
Now I have just the evidence you need right here. This piece of evidence strongly suggests that the auctioneer's hammer was the murder weapon. The testimony... Auction continued after Ringer's murder, but the sound of auctioneer's hammer could no longer be heard. That's the one. Miss Hart told us something very important about the auction after the murder occurred. She said that the very prominent sound of the auctioneer's hammer could no longer be heard. Now why would that be? I'll tell you why. Because it had just been used in a murder and was covered in the victim's blood. It would need to be disposed of, isn't that right, Chairman Winner?
Have our people look into this right away.
Oh, you really are like a dog with a bone, aren't you, dear boy? But if you can't dedicate yourself to a cause when you're young, when can you? Seems very confident we'll never find it.
Very well, a search of the murder weapon will be conducted. In the meantime, this court is in recess.
Whew. Yep, we're saving. Damn, we're definitely almost done, but like this part's getting really long. That was all just one part. So, that being the case, we're gonna have to finish this next time. Alright, chat. We're gonna call it here for any friends on, so I think we'll just call it here. Okay. So we're gonna stop here for the day, for the week, and we'll pick it up possibly next week, but I think we also have a visitor in town, so we'll have to see what happens. It might have to wait until the week after, but we will finish. So for now, hey, thank y'all for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Thanks everybody who came by today. Darjalingling, Ashenmore, Vagrancy, Magine, any other chatters I may have missed, lurkers, future VoD watchers. I appreciate all of you. It was a shorter-ish, but like, judging by how long that part was, it would be another 3 hours, and I don't think I can last that long. So we'll finish next week, maybe even start the next case, and then we'll go from there. So I don't know. I think we're raiding next week. I'm not actually sure. Or tomorrow. I'm not actually sure. Seems like we probably are. Yeah. Tomorrow should be the last raid of the month. Okay. So yeah. We'll see you then. And then Monday will be Deep Dungeon, as usual. And then yeah, we should Deep Dungeon. But also there may be a return to Ironmon soon-ish. I'm not sure. I've been getting the itch again. We'll see what happens. And then Thursday, I think we might do... We'll either go back to Animal Well or we'll play a little Rift the Necrodancer. We'll see. For now, have a good night, everybody. Have a great rest of your weekend. I'll see you all next time. Take care. Bye-bye.